This year I was diagnosed with not one, but 2 autoimmune diseases. And with autoimmune diseases on the rise with an estimated 20 million people suffering with them in the US alone, all of my doctors said that with proper nutrition and diet, I might be able to drastically improve my daily pain. So since trying food is part of my job, I decided why not try an autoimmune disease friendly diet for a week to see if it would be challenging for me, see if it would be delicious, hopefully, and see if it's something that I think could be sustainable. Part of my overall health and well-being over the last few years has consisted of ritual vitamins. I'm gonna tell you guys about them in just a minute. Also, when you're changing your diet, nutrition, anything, you should always consult a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I have both psoriatic arthritis and what they call ankylosing spondylitis, both of which can wreck me on any given day. They cause inflammation inside of my joints. So basically like arthritis all over my body. I have it in my spine, my knees, my hips, even in my hands. You'll see in this video, I'm like crumbling up pecans for a recipe and it killed my hands. So it's kind of a big deal. It really does affect me every single day. And what's so crazy, it also makes me so exhausted that there are days that I physically can't even get out of bed. This is all genetic. I've been dealing with this for the last 2 decades and I had no idea what was actually going on with me. I finally went to a rheumatologist, did a bunch of testing, and then my doctor basically was like, you have to change your diet. And I'm like, what? Isn't there a pill or like a treatment? She's like, yeah, but for you, I feel like you're gonna benefit most by really cleaning up your diet and also cutting out coffee. And I was like, excuse me? Do not speak blasphemy. So here are my rules for this experiment. No red meat, no eggs, no vegetable oils, no fried food, no sugar, no dairy, no refined carbs, no alcohol, no limited coffee. Let's not lose our minds today. And instead, I'm gonna put my little menu of what I'm gonna be eating this week on the screen. So what is like an anti-inflammatory diet? Well, it really is just a diet that's super clean, really healthy, tons of colorful fruits, vegetables, greens, beans, olive oil, nuts. Usually removing gluten is a part of this whole plan, but I'm not gluten sensitive and I'm trying to make this something that I can realistically keep up in the future.
Okay, for breakfast is a recipe that Matt kind of introduced to me many years ago. Apple cinnamon oatmeal, but like not from the pre-packaged oatmeal packets, like freshly done. I tried to make this as organic as possible. So I got some organic oats. I also got some organic unfiltered apple juice. And the trick here is to not put too many oats because they do swell up once they get hot. You're gonna slightly cover the oats with the apple juice and you're gonna microwave it for about a minute and a half. You're gonna chop up some fresh apples. I like them in teeny tiny slices. Top with a liberal amount of cinnamon, about a tablespoon of brown sugar, and you're gonna mix it together. And if you really want some extra crunch, you can add in walnuts or pecans to this and really make this gourmet tasting. It is really filling, and I remember when we ate it back in the day, it's like you would eat 3 bites and you'd have to run to the bathroom because it was very regulatory. It really like worked its way through your system in a good, healthy, hearty kind of way. It actually does taste really good. And it is so good for you. It kind of tastes like a dessert. I don't know if the brown sugar is autoimmune diet approved. I think the trick there is just to limit how much of it you use. I have to have lots of texture. All this mush kind of weirds me out. So as long as you can do chunky apples, chunky nuts, you can keep it kind of interesting. I feel like this feels kind of like a gourmet tasty breakfast. It is time for lunch. We are having sweet potatoes with a drizzle of honey and tzatziki. I like all of these things separate, but sweet potatoes, tzatziki, and honey together, my brain doesn't really understand what that might mean. I saw somebody recommend it on a blog somewhere and I was like, oh, that's kind of like unique. Let's just try it. So you just buy a couple of sweet potatoes. You're going to clean them, peel them, and chop them into about 1-inch size slices. You're gonna throw them in a bowl, cover them with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, mix that up, and then you're gonna lay all of your sweet potato slices on a baking sheet and cook that at 400 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, making sure that about every 10 minutes you kind of stir it up just so those pieces don't get too burned. Guys, it's that simple. Then you're gonna take your sweet potatoes, you're gonna drizzle a little bit of honey on top, and then you're gonna buy some tzatziki sauce. I just picked this up from the grocery store and I just plopped in maybe about 2 tablespoons of tzatziki sauce and mixed it together, and that is it. Ooh, yum. This is delicious. The tzatziki really makes it fresh. It's almost like a sweet potato salad. Like, I want to eat this every single day. My brain does not register this is healthy. Yum. And also I'm trying some elixir of sorts that's supposed to be very anti-inflammatory. I'm maybe not the elixir type. I'm more of like a soda kind of gal. This is called the Golden Tonic. So you're gonna bring 2 cups of filtered water to a simmer in a saucepan. Then you're gonna add 2 green tea bags, some thyme, some ginger, some turmeric, a tablespoon of honey, and a tablespoon of raw unfiltered cider vinegar. And you're gonna stir until the honey is dissolved, and you're gonna bring that simmer down and let the mixture kind of steep for about 15 minutes or so. You're gonna strain this. I didn't have a strainer, so I strained it through a potato masher, don't judge me. And then you're gonna refrigerate it for at least an hour before you try it. And it kind of just looks like an iced tea. So we're just gonna give this a good college try. Just pretend there's tequila in there. Now, I wouldn't say it's good, but I wouldn't say it's bad, and I feel like that is success. If I had to drink this every day just to help with my immune system, I think I would. It's palatable, it's tolerable. I did try this when it was fresh off of the stove, and it tasted horrible, but I trusted the process. This tastes so much better than it did. Like, the fact that I'm going in for multiple sips of this is pretty impressive. All right, I gotta get back to this. This is calling my name. I gotta go.
Now, diet alone is obviously only part of making healthy choices for yourself, whether you have an autoimmune disease or not. But during this time, I have been taking Ritual's Essential for Women multivitamin every single day. I've been taking Ritual for years now. They make it really easy to get great quality vitamins that are actually enjoyable to take. This essential vitamin actually gives me so much of what I need. There is a mint tab in every bottle to keep these vitamins smelling and tasting fresh. Unlike a lot of vitamins that I've taken, these are actually gentle on your stomach. And I think my favorite part about these vitamins is that Ritual, the company, has obsessively researched the ingredients of every single one of their vitamins. They actually tell you exactly where they get every ingredient that they use. And as someone who is dealing with a lot of medical things, having transparency with a company is so important. I was also taking Ritual's prenatals for years while I was trying to get pregnant. It was the only vitamin that I trusted. They offer so many different options, from men's multivitamins to postnatal, kids, and they recently launched an essential protein range option as well. And because better health does not happen overnight, Lord knows, Ritual is offering all of us 20% off your first month. You can fill in the gaps in your diet with the Essentials for Women, a very small step that helps build the foundation for your body. That is 20% off 1 month's worth of vitamins or protein
By going to ritual.com/ErinRobinson20 and use my code ErinRobinson20 at checkout.
Thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring.
This juice is, I think, my favorite juice of all time. It's beet, apple, lemon, and ginger. I actually don't like beets, but there's something about beet juice that gets me fired up on the inside. But if I were a juice, this is the juice I would be. It's also like a $9 juice, so we don't get to experience each other very often. Why is it burns. I mean, it burns, but it hurts so good, you know? If someone told me you can't have alcohol ever again, but you can have your beet juice every day, I'd give it up. That's how much I love this stuff. Let me know if the juice gets you that hot and bothered in the comments. Okay, it's time for some dinner. I have a mixed kind of grain protein veggie bowl with chicken, rolled onions, sweet potatoes, a little bit of corn, quinoa. In addition to that, I have a green juice that has spinach, romaine, kale, and pineapple and cucumber in it. This all looks so delicious, but it seems a little bit dry to me. Pretty good. I have this like almond sauce that I think is pretty healthy for me. It has almonds in it. I'm gonna pour a little bit of that on here. It has like a spicy kind of chipotle vibe going on. I'm gonna see if this helps give it a kick. That's so good. This is pretty good too. It's kind of a weird mix to do veggies and like a green juice for dinner. While this is all full of such healthy stuff, I don't feel like I'll be left wanting after this. I think I'm gonna be pretty full. I just need to eat like this more often. This is not that difficult. Several times this week, I am making myself an avocado toast. Nothing terribly mind-blowing, but you do have to pick really good avocados in order to have good avocado toast. So once you slice your avocado, I grab this really healthy organic bread that has to be refrigerated. It's made with like really pure ingredients, and I toasted that up, and I just mashed my avocado on top of my toast
toast. Keeping this simple is the best way to go. I just sprinkle a little salt and pepper, of course, everything but the bagel seasoning, which is a must for this. And I go heavy with the seasoning because I love lots of flavor. And then I also drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil just to give it a little depth. And here we have a delicious way to start the day. Good morning. I'm just starting to get hungry. It is hard to make avocado toast taste the same every time because obviously avocados, aren't in season, or you get one that's not quite ripe enough. So it's kind of this shot in the dark if it's gonna be good. During my prep, I went ahead and cut up some lemon wedges, and I'm just gonna do a little spritz just to get a little bit of lemon juice, just to give it like a little bit of freshness. I love the way that smells. It's good. The avocado is right. So good. It is one of those things, like when it is good, when the avocados are good, the avocado toast slaps. It's so delicious. Guys, I have been in an editing hole, and it's not a hole you want to be in because you stop eating, you stop drinking, you stop looking at yourself in the mirror. I need an afternoon pick-me-up. I am cutting back on coffee this week, but I need a little bit of caffeine because obviously the headaches are atrocious. So I picked this up. It's a matcha green tea almond latte. It's already kind of pre-made already. Matcha is an art. It takes some talent to make a good matcha, and I've tried it. It's just not, I'm not talented in that way. It does have almond milk in it, and I hate almond milk. I hate almond milk so much. It smells metallic. It smells like when you've had old jewelry from like Forever 21 that's been in a bag for a long time, and you open it up and it has that like old rotting metal. I don't think that's a thing, but the girlies who get it, okay? Wow, that is really disgusting. It tastes like pond water, and this was not cheap. When it comes to switching to an autoimmune diet, in my head, this is what that tastes like. And it makes me so sad because you guys know I love food. I love butter. I love sugar. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to eat this and drink these sad things. What's the point? I have had a couple of wins in these recipes this week of really delicious things that are easy, tasty. I can eat those. Things like this, no, I can't do weird stuff. This is just too weird. I blame the almond milk. Chicken noodle soup is one of those things that is so underrated. If you can really get a solid recipe to make it delicious, it can actually be mind-blowingly good. The pro about this recipe is that it's extra delicious. The con is that it does take some time to make it delicious. With this recipe, you're gonna make your own broth. The recipe actually calls for water-based broth, and then you put vegetables and chicken inside of the water to kind of make your own chicken stock. I actually like to use chicken broth first and then add all the vegetables because it just makes it that much more flavorful. So you're going to put all of your chicken stock into a big pot, let it boil, and then you're gonna add whole onions, whole pieces of garlic. You don't have to peel these. You're gonna add chunks of carrot, chunks of celery, thyme, rosemary, chicken breast. Just throw it in there, and you're gonna wanna let that sit for about 30 to 40 minutes. While that's cooking, you're gonna put some diced onions, diced celery, diced carrots, and garlic in a pan until all of that softens. Once your broth is finished boiling, you're going to take out those large chunks of vegetables, and you're going to add in the softened vegetables that you just cooked in your pan. Also, you're going to make sure your chicken starts to shred. It should be soft and ready to go after about 40 minutes in the pot. And then you're going to add your egg noodles. Because I'm doing this sort of low carb this week, I didn't put a ton of them in there, but we got to have some carbs in here somewhere. Another great thing about this is you can make it in like a huge batch, and then you freeze it. So you can eat it in a couple weeks when you don't want to sit and chop up vegetables for 30-45 minutes. Double the goodness half the time. It's so good. It just feels like home. It feels comforting. The thing about this recipe is I feel like everyone's gonna love it. Canned soup pales in comparison, but if I could get ahead of it and make a bunch, this could be a staple. Should be a staple.
morning, I'm going to partake in a big AF bowl of berries, which I would never normally eat because it's just too much work to have to clean them and get them all prepared. It's actually a big excuse. It's not that hard. Don't listen to me, but this is what I tell myself. I have a big call here in just a few minutes. I'm gonna go put my face on and then come back once my berries are all clean. They're soaking in vinegar and filtered water right now. I will say they look beautiful, like something that I should be eating every day. She's ready to go. Yum. That's pretty good. I actually like soaking these in vinegar to clean them because it almost gives the fruit a little bit of like a sour vibe. It almost kind of tastes like Sour Patch Kids or something. Just get a strawberry in the mix. I do think this is something I could keep up. I just have to force myself to go to the fridge and grab the berries and not grab the potato chips. It's harder than it sounds. Okay, I am cheating a little bit tonight. I made it so far, but tonight I am having a little bit of rice and a little bit of cheese. I could have just not told you all, but I just felt like this is reality of trying a healthy, specific type of diet. There are gonna be moments and days and times when you need to just cheat just a little bit. I ordered in from one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in town, and it's kind of a bowl with shredded chicken, cabbage, corn, a little bit of rice, and a squeeze of lime. It's delicious. I think this also goes to show that having a very restricted diet is really hard when you're eating out. Not only because your options are limited, but your temptation is so high. So excited, there are carbs in here. Oh, so good. Very spicy. This is cheating, but it's kind of like not. I can eat Mexican food every single day. Worth it. I learned that changing my diet is still gonna be really hard for me. I don't know that it's something I could do 100%. I obviously love food. It's part of my job. I enjoy eating lots of food that maybe isn't that great for me. But what I did learn in this whole process is that if I eat bad 10-15% of the time, the other 80, math, I don't know. The other times in my life, I can actually eat healthy and enjoy it. The trick is to really finding really good recipes that you really like. Really. And to prep. Spend an afternoon, cook for your entire week so that it makes it so much more attainable to make better choices during the week. So we will not be completely cutting everything out of our diet. So subscribe if you want more food content. Please give me a reason to go to Taco Bell. But I do think a majority of the time I'm going to start really incorporating a lot more fruits, vegetables, things with color that come from nature and not from factories. And if you guys liked this video, please subscribe. And thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring. Don't forget, go get your 20% off. And you don't have to go to the grocery store to buy them. My least favorite place. Sign me up.